All right, this lesson is on Rhinestone Templates. I've been asked about this several times, so I decided that this time I would go ahead and show you guys how to do that. Okay, so I'm going to just start with doing my name first. Okay. All right, so here's my name. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger just so I can make sure that I have a good view, and I make sure that my rhinestones lay out as best as I can get them to. Okay. All right. So now here you're gonna go to this little panel here where it says open rhinestone panel. This here means you have no rhinestones. Okay. This one here is just the outer edge. This one is a fill, so it will fill inside. And this one is a radial fill, which also fills inside, but it feels it differently, and I will show you what I'm talking about as we go on. Okay, so right now I'm just going to click this one here, and I'm going to click 6SS because that's a smaller stone. Okay, and with it being a smaller stone, it actually would sit better. You see how nice my name is sitting with the 6SS? Well, as I go bigger, if I go to a 10SS, it's going to look a little more distorted. Okay, you see what I mean? I mean, it would look nicer, but I would just have to draw it out and make it bigger. Okay, but the thing about this is when you drag it out and make it bigger, what you want to do is you want to go back and change it. You go back to your 6SS and go back to the 10SS. It's what I do to make sure that it cuts it exactly at the 10SS because I've dragged it out and I've, changed that sizing pretty much, even though it really just adds in another circle. But you just want to make sure that when it cuts it, it actually cuts it at the correct size. Okay. All right. So, now I've done that, and I will show you how it looks with the fills. All right, so now this doesn't look that great, so I would definitely just keep it at the outline because of the font. If you try it in a different font, it will look different with each font that you try. Okay. And you see how it looks with both fills. And then here it is as a 16. Now, if I did it as a 16, I would definitely go a little bit bigger so it would sit a little bit nicer. Okay, you see it sits a lot nicer. It's neater and everything. So I would do it like that. See, it doesn't look as great. So I would either go edge or I would go radial fill for my name to make it look the way I want it to look, to give it the exact look. All right, so there's that. Now let's see. We'll go to my library and we'll pick out something fun in the library. How about that? Let's see. What do we have up here? Anything? Anything? Oh, we have her. Let's click on her. Let's bring her in. And then we'll go back to the library and I'm going to grab another one while I'm doing that. Let's try her. Okay. I don't like this version. Let's go get a different one. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Okay, here we go. We'll grab her. Alright, so we have her. And what we're going to do, I'm going to zoom out so you can kind of see it a little bit better. Come on, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to click on the 6SS. First, you want a highlighter. 6SS. and I'm gonna do the outline. Sometimes it takes a little bit if it's gonna be something larger. It takes a little bit of time. Okay. Now my panel closed, obviously, so I'm gonna open it back up. I guess it's still doing something. My computer is slow, guys. I'm sorry. All right. So again, you want to make sure your image is highlighted. Now I'm gonna click the fill. Now she looks a lot better with this fill. Okay. But you see there's still some gaps. You can do a freehand where you can add in stones, but what I would do is just drag it out and it will fill it in for you. See how it kind of slowly fills it in for you? So that's what I would do. And again, remember, just go back and click on like 6SS and then click back on something else. Okay. Now that's a 16. So I would probably do this in a 16 and be okay with it. But again, you want to fix these pieces that are missing. You can definitely do that. And here I'm going to click on the radial fill. Um, you see where it's a little more gappy with the radial fill. See, it's a little more space. And if you go back to the linear fill, you still got gaps, but you don't have as many. And you can drag it out, fill it in. Okay. And now here we have our Afro girl. So we're going to click, let's see, we'll do 6SS on her and do the outer. All right, so here is the outer part for her. Okay. And this would definitely be a cute look if you're going to add something in her hair to, like Afro or, I don't know, just whatever you come up with, right? And then you can do a linear fill with her or a radial fill. And again, remember when you do these fills, each one looks different. Okay. Now, I also want to let you guys know in order to do these things, you need to go to Swing Design and purchase a, a download that's an upgrade for Silhouette software if you haven't already. If you have the basic edition or the designer edition, you need to do an upgrade. This is available on the designer. I mean, not on the design. This is available on the business edition. This is why I hesitate to show these things because I know a lot of people don't have the business edition, but you can definitely go and add on to do these things. And you can also so you can play around with it and try these different things. Okay. So again, that's Swing Design. You can go on there or even check on Silhouette America. Sometimes they do run sales on the software upgrades. Okay. So you can do stuff like that and get your rhinestone designs together for how you want it. So in order to cut these, you do it the same way you cut um anything else for your silhouette. Okay. You go to send and you're going to select stencil. And obviously this is not the right size. Okay. So you see how mine is already on stencil. You're going to have it on stencil cut and in the auto blade and it will, cut out for you. And what you'll need to do this, you'll need sticky flock. You get your sticky flock. It works better than trying to use like 651 or anything like that. You will be happier if you use sticky flock because 651 will get tedious and your stones will go all over the place and they will not sit correctly for you and you will want to give up. Okay. And make sure you do this on a flat surface and something that nobody's gonna bump into, because trust me, if somebody bumps into it, you're gonna be very upset and you are going to want to scream. Okay. So just a bit of advice for making rhinestone templates. Again, you need sticky flock to do this. You need to get a little brush to brush the stones in. And I would advise you to get like some kind of tray to put this in order to brush your stones into it. And you also need Rhinestone Template uh, paper. It's like a backing. I have to find the exact name for you guys, but it's a Rhinestone Template um, plastic so that it holds all your rhinestones together, so you can put it on and put it onto your shirt or whatever it is that you are trying to make. Okay, so all right, so again, you want to make sure this is on stencil material, and you want to make sure you have the correct um, material to cut this on, because you will want to give up. And make sure this, like I said, is on stencil material, so it cuts through your material, because if it doesn't cut all the way through, you're going to go crazy with that too. Okay, so you also have this other little panel here. You don't actually have to use this panel for anything, but you use it to change the color of the stones, whereas this one I don't have to, because it just took the color of the image that I used to turn into a rhinestone template. Okay, so these little things here, you don't need to use any of this stuff unless, like I said, you're changing it to show a color of um, your design. But like I said, this already has color, so I don't need to change anything. But I would, let's see, let me zoom out. Let's see if I can get her to fill in a little bit more. And you see how I started to come in a little bit more. And again, you can use the freehand and put in some more stones. I'm going to change my paper so you can all shrink down. Let me see. Change my paper to 30 by 30. Alright, let's zoom out again. And we're going to make it a little bit bigger. My computer is not liking me making this thing bigger. And you see how as I make her a little bit bigger, she gets better feel. So what you're going to want to do is, in order to keep your stones from changing when you want, because you're going to have to shrink her down. Okay, there's no doubt about it. You're going to have to shrink her down in order to cut. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to lock this. Okay, and then I'm going to shrink it. Now it's not really liking me doing it, because I made it so big, and now I'm manipulating it some more. It doesn't really like it. But again, I would still edit it a little bit more. I would do it a couple more times just so I can fill in these little gaps. But I just wanted to show you how to shrink it without it losing all the rhinestones that we just had it placing as we were dragging it out. Okay, so you see now she's still pretty good. We were still add in some more stones here and here and on the L. Okay, and I see a couple spots we could fill in, but again, you can definitely do that freestyle with the freehand. Let's see. My computer isn't very happy about me doing this, so I don't know how much more I should keep playing with this. All right, now you see that? That's a stone. And I'm going to click on 6SS because that's what I want it to be. Now you see how that stretches that out. So you have to be careful about doing that. That's why I don't do it that way. Because look how many of those I have there. Okay. So you just got to be careful about certain little things. But that's only if you want to do a fill in there. You can do a 1 by 1, or you can keep dragging it and letting it fill in for you. And then again, you want to lock your height and width so that way it keeps your placement of your stones. And when you so then you can go ahead and cut it. Okay. And that is how you do a rhinestone template. Any questions, post here or ask in the live.